I think it's a very strong program. I've taught the A-level program for the British curriculum. I've taught the AP program for the American, the Advanced Placement program, and now I've taught the IB Diploma program. And you know, they all have their strengths, but overall I think the IB program is much better, simply because it allows you to go into depth into topics. Now, you could say that the A-level program also allows you to go into depth, but you actually, for your A-levels, you choose fewer topics. And I think that that's a lot of pressure on a student of 15 to 16 years old who's making a choice for their future. IB allows you to explore options within a group or a group of subjects. But at the very least, they make you choose 6 different subjects, right? Plus you do your theory of knowledge, and you also do your extended essay. And you've got to do your community service work as well. And so I think overall that gives a student more options for university application. And also it kind of makes them a better rounded student overall, especially when you consider the philosophy of TOK and the community service.
I think the IB is an excellent qualification. There are a couple of reasons for that. One of them, perhaps the main one, is that it challenges people to think. It's not a piece of work where you give people answers and they just churn them out again, but we're always asking people to think about what they're doing, think about the reasons behind it. I like that part of it. I also like the IB because it's very thorough. In some parts of the world, it's getting easier and easier to finish high school. The IB makes you work hard, and I think it's good preparation for university. So I like it for those reasons.
I think the IB program is an ideal system which the students should undergo, because it not only teaches the students about the more conventional elements that students usually learn in school, but there's also, the more idealistic, philosophical, analytical skills that they develop through the IB program.
I think the diploma program is a very rigorous, quite a very demanding program for students. You have to remember it's for everybody, so students of all different abilities can access it, but what they achieve from it will obviously depend on their ability. So somebody maintaining 4s, etc. is just as good as if the person's working to their best of ability. It's a very broad program. There's 6 subjects plus the other 3 things on top: TOK, extended essay, and CAS. So in effect, the student's doing 9 things. So it's a very demanding pre-university course.
Overall, I think the diploma program is really good for most people. It allows a much wider depth into several courses that other classes don't, that other programs don't. It is more an analysis-based program, so you'll be doing analysis, understanding how things work as opposed to simply memorizing them. And it's world-renowned now. It's become even more recognized in GCSE in most countries of the world. And overall, the IB program is just an excellent program. And it allows for several things, such as CAS, the excellent essay. It truly prepares you for college.
If I go back to what I tell students every year in grade 10, making the transition into the diploma program, I end up saying the same thing year after year. You don't have to be academically elite in your mindset. You don't have to be the smartest person on the planet or even within the school. You just have to be a good manager of time. We put a lot of emphasis at certain times of the year on assessments, and there are deadlines that all kind of seem to come at once. And if you can manage your time in advance of those deadlines, then you'll have no problem. But if you let things go until the last minute because you haven't managed your time properly, and you don't start your papers or your say your labs for science or your portfolio work for math, if you haven't started that well in advance and worked a little bit at a time at it, it'll all pile up at the end, and you won't be able to manage your time, and literally you'll fall apart and your grades will suffer. So time management is the key issue to this whole program, really. The rest it's not that difficult. It's just the difficult part is managing your time, fitting it all together.
One of the things about it is that there's a lot of work coming in 6 different subjects, and lots of those subjects have different pieces of assessment that come fairly quickly. So my big tip is to work hard at being organised. Don't put things off. Don't delay doing stuff. Make sure that you practice being organised. Work with a diary if that's what helps, or something online. Use reminders on your phone, wherever it will help you. But the most important thing is to not let things get on top of you, and the best way to do that is to get things done when you get the chance to.
That I would have for students moving from NYU to IB is to ramp up your work and meet the deadline, because if you don't, it's just going to get really hard to cope up.
I think most importantly, IB is not really that. It is difficult, it is challenging, it does require a lot of input, but it's difficult when you don't organize your time. I think what you need to, your priority should be that you should organize your time, and whatever you have left to do it. Don't don't let it accumulate with other tasks that you're given, because then it turns into a total chaos. You can't finish everything. You're under pressure. So yeah, just make sure if you're given a task, worry about finishing it first, and then free time, whatever.
Best piece of advice I can give to any student doing the diploma program is to make sure they're organised. If you're not organised, then you fall behind. You leave things to the last minute, and then all of a sudden you've got 6 things to do, and you just won't be able to cope. Organisation is the most important thing. Getting ahead, keeping records, making sure that you know what's expected and the deadlines.
My advice is that everyone will always tell you, don't procrastinate, don't leave it to the last minute, and you'll do exactly the same thing we did. You'll be like, you're lying, I can do it, I can take care of it, I can do it. While that might work for the first year, if you don't do your extended essay, don't get your cast done, don't do all that, it's going to come back to get you in at the end of the year. Right now, I'm under huge amounts of pressure. I have clips to work on for all of the classes. I have to do my extended essay. I have to work on my cast, finish it all, write everything. So don't let it get the best of you. Always make sure to manage your time properly, and as well, make sure to take classes you enjoy. Some people take classes they think are good for college, but then don't enjoy them and get terrible